Hello, boys and girls. How are you guys doing on today? I am a super duper excited, boys and girls, because I get to hang out with a Danica favorite boys and girls on today. And we're talking about her latest release, Journey to Forgiveness. Guys, I don't know if you can see this cover, but of course, we're going to talk about it. It is gorgeous, by the way. But she has stopped by to hang out with us here at the cafe to talk about her latest release. Danica, can you introduce yourself to the people, my friend?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Danica Favorite. And as Angela said, I am the author of Journey to Forgiveness. I've written several books for Love Inspired. So very excited because this starts a brand new series called
Yes.
Shepherd's Creek. So if you read this book and you fall in love with Shepherd's Creek, be prepared because you're going to get three more books after this. Yeah. So
I love that, guy. She is spilling the tea at the beginning. So she's told us that we're going to get
oh,
3 more books in this series. So that is super
yeah.
duper excited. We love a new series. They are joining us and saying hello. Hello, Caitlin. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hello, Jennifer Copeland. Thank you for joining us. We have Mama Tona Bonita in the house. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Now, Danica, you just shared with us that this is going to be a new series for you that you are starting. And this is the Shepherd's Creek series. Can you tell us a little bit about Shepherd's Creek before we get into it?
So Shepherd's Creek is largely based off of a horse program that my daughters both went through. My youngest is going to graduate from it in January, actually. But I really thought, wouldn't it be fun? This is like a giant organization that my kids have been part of, but wouldn't it be fun to make it kind of something smaller and more of a family thing, and give us the chance to get to know this family who's trying to save a struggling stables and work through what was a difficult family relationship and some really trying family circumstances that they all grew up with, and now they've come back together as adults to work it out and find that.
Wow, how cool is that? And speaking of that, we have to talk about this gorgeous cover. Okay, tell us a little bit about this cover. Did you send them some information about it? Tell us about this cover.
So what we do for Love Inspired for our covers is we send what's called an art fact sheet, and we we give them a couple of scenes that we think are important in the book that would really make a great cover. This scene, I don't want to give away what it is in the book because it's really, really special and it's kind of part of the Black moment almost.
Yes.
So you guys can't know what this scene is, but I hope when you read it, you'll be like, oh, that's it.
I love that.
Yeah,
Well, this is an amazing cover. I love it.
It's actually my favorite cover so far.
Oh, wow. I was just getting ready to ask you, what was your reaction when you saw your cover?
I did. I went just absolutely wow. And so one of the things that's important to know is that our horse covers, as much as we love them, what you have to understand is the people who make these covers actually are in Toronto, Canada. Most of them don't know anything about horses. And so over the years, I've had a lot of covers with horses on them, and I'll get letters from readers about the horse part being wrong. And I've even had nasty reviews of, I'm never buying a book by this author or reading her books ever again because the horse on the cover had the wrong tack. I'm like, oh my goodness, please stop. And so this one is 100% right. But also I've gotten really good at, when I send them pictures, I send them lots of details of, I really, really need this. Please do this. And, it's always, if there's something wrong, I try to just apologize. Obviously, if you're not on my newsletter, you don't know. But I do try to just let people know, hey, you know what? They did the best they could. And they just wanted something pretty. They don't necessarily want something accurate. They're just looking for something that you look at it and go, wow, that's so pretty. I want to buy the book. And they always do that. It's always, wow, that's so pretty. I want to buy the book.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love that on this one, all the tack, all the stuff on the horse is right.
Yes.
So. And I said to my kids too. My kids, I was like, look at the horse. And they're all like, oh.
It
So
is an amazing cover. Boys and girls, if you are just joining us, I'm hanging out with Danica Favorite on today, guys. She's sharing with her new release, A Journey to Forgiveness. She just shared with us that this is going to be the start of a new series, Boys and Girls. And of course, if you are just joining us, like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to come on over to the cafe and to hang out with us today as we talk to Danica Favorite. And so, Danica, I want to talk a little bit about, we talked about this amazing cover. I want to talk about the title, Journey to Forgiveness. Oh my goodness, please share about this title. And was it the original working title, or no, it's another title that came to be and this is the title?
so Journey to Forgiveness, it is absolutely about forgiveness. For those who haven't read my books, and even those who have, one of the important themes that I like to write about is forgiveness. I just think it's so important in life. And I just really feel very strongly that that's something that we all have to do in our lives. And so, and as the book says, it's a journey. It's not like, I think for me, when I first started looking at the concept of forgiveness, I got really frustrated because it's like this attitude of one and done. Okay, I forgave, I'm done. Ha ha ha. No, it's a process, it's a journey. And so there are so many things in this book. And again, I don't want to spoil too much, but there are so many pieces and layers to the forgiveness that happens in this book. And so I really loved being able to explore all those layers. And what's really cool is I'm writing book 3 in the series right now. And one of the forgiveness pieces mentioned in this book 1 comes up again. Which is really awesome because, like, don't you, doesn't that happen to you? You think, oh, I forgave that. And then a few years later, oh, wait, I got to forgive that again. And
wow.
so I love that. It makes me really happy. I honestly don't remember what the working title was. I just end up with calling it whatever I call it. And then I submit to them a list of titles and they pick the best one.
Okay.
And then we just go with that one. So I never really get attached to a title when I'm writing a book, because I just, the whole team looks at that, editorial and marketing and this and that. And from there, they pick what they think will do the best and will resonate the best with readers. So I'm never married to a title. I just let it be what it's going to be.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing. And one thing that I like, again, when I look at the cover of the book, that I absolutely love the cover, but the title, it just matches the cover. I don't know. For me, it does. I don't know about other people, but it's really nice. So I like the title as well as the book. So let's get into the story a little bit. Now, when you think about this story, Journey to Forgiveness, because as you told us, this is the beginning of a new series. So what inspired the series, and what inspired this particular story in the series to be like book 1?
Yeah. So for me, it really was just all the horseback riding stuff my kids do and all of the things that they do in their horse organization. For those of you who follow me on social media, especially Instagram, you'll see tons and tons of pictures and videos of all of the things that my kids have done over the years. And so that was kind of the theme for the overarching series. And for me, I just started thinking about this woman coming home after all of these years to a life she had turned her back on. And what does that look like to have to save the place that she swore she'd never go back to? And that to me just became really powerful. And it was fun because I got to include all of the horse stuff. And like in here, there's no trick rider on the cover, but one of the things is that my heroine, when she was a child growing up, she did trick riding. And so one of the things that she has to do that's part of this forgiveness process is she helps the hero's daughter with her trick riding. And so my daughter is a trick rider. And so I did, everyone's like, oh, well, how'd you write all that? Well, my daughter has read she refuses to read my books because, that's gross to read a romance that your mother wrote. Please say mother, just like a teenager. but she does read all of the horse parts, all of the trick writing parts, all of that she read to make sure that mom did a good job, because how embarrassing if mom got it wrong.
Right, right. So
So
she was like your fact checker. She helped you with your research. So good. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I love that.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, it was fun because it was something that for me, the ideas have just really came from this life that I've been living with my kids growing up for all these years.
Nice, nice. Boys and girls, if you are just joining us, I'm hanging out with Danica, favorite boys and girls, and she's telling us about her latest release, Journey to Forgiveness. Now, Danica, when you think about this book, and it's the beginning of a series or what have you, what came first for you? Was it these amazing characters or was it the plot? Do share with us.
So it's almost always the characters. They almost
Okay.
always come to me, but sometimes it's the plot. For this one, it was actually funny because this isn't giving away anything, but Josie, the heroine, um, her father, I was sitting there thinking about what it would be like to be a woman who the father wanted a son, and this was the only chance the father was going to have a son. And so he named it after himself. And like, so her legal name on her birth certificate was Joseph Stephen Shepard Jr. Like, what is that like as a woman to go through that name and have to live life like that? I really dug
And even the junior part. I mean,
yeah,
he look, he was all in.
right, right. And and that's in the opening, that's what she's greeted as. Everyone knew her growing up as Junior. And imagine that as a woman, that being your identity. And so what is it like to she's left that identity? She's like, I'm not Junior anymore. And she chooses to become Josie. And so she comes, and so she's been Junior her whole life, and she comes back as Josie. And yeah, that was really the kind of what if I started with. And from there, it just snowballed into this beautiful story.
Wow, wow. And that leads me into the next theme because we definitely like for the authors to tell us a little bit about the characters. So you share with us a little bit about Josie. Okay, tell us about Brady. Am I saying it right?
Yeah,
B-R-A-D,
Brady.
Brady. Okay. Yes. If you had to describe Brady for us in 3 words or more, if you need more, how would you describe his character to us?
Yeah, I think he is just really has the heart and soul of a cowboy. And he wants to do the right thing by his family and by all of the people around him. And he wants to serve them and protect them and love them the best he can. And as he's done for all of these years, it's at the expense of his own happiness. And for the first time in his life, he gets a chance to maybe pursue what actually is what will make him happy.
Yeah, yeah. When you think about the characters, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the hero and the heroine, but when you think about the characters in this amazing story, is there a character that was the most fun to write or exciting or interesting? And is there a character, and it could be more than one, that kind of at moments may have given you pause that you kind of had to take a moment with that particular character?
So, for me, what's been interesting is these characters are so intertwined. Um, the two who were the most powerful, Kayla, who is the teenage daughter. Um, First of all, she's very much patterned after my own daughter. And so that was very fun and
Okay.
very difficult because, again, I really did use her and lean on her for writing it.
Yeah.
And so as I told her, like in each book about Kayla's evolution, she's like, you can't do that to Kayla. How dare you do that to Kayla? What are you doing? And so that was fun. The other one, though, is in this book, Maddie is the villain. That's not really giving anything away because it's pretty obvious the first time she steps onto the page that she's the villain. But the fourth book is her story. And so Maddie gets a redemption story. And
Oh.
it was really fun because as I was working with my editor on this book, the copy editor had come back and said, I think you need to have Maddie do this and this and this and this. And I said, whoa, I can't make her too evil because then I have to write a book about her and my readers are going to hate her. And she's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, no, let's not make her too evil. You've got her just right. So that to me has been a real challenge is that as I write these other books, because Maddie really is like I said, she's the villain.
Yeah.
So writing her as the villain in this book, but knowing that I also need to show the good side of her because that's really true of life. Like all the people we think are villains, all of the villains in our lives. I mean, sometimes they're a true villain, but sometimes what they really need is, oh my goodness, forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
I think it just all goes back into that circle, right?
Yes, yes. Boys and girls, if you're just joining us, I am having an amazing time hanging out with Danica Favor on today, guys. We're talking about her latest release, Journey to Forgiveness. Boys and girls, of course, if you are tuning in, feel free to like, tag, and share and tell a friend to come join us over at the cafe. And Danica, you're going to read a little snippet for us. Is that correct? Enough to wet their whistle?
Yeah. I'm just going to read a little bit of the opening.
Okay.
You had told me to read a little snippet. All the ones that I really love give away too much of the book.
Okay.
So you just get a little bit.
Give us a little bit.
Josie Shepherd pulled up in front of the main barn at the Shepherd's Creek Equestrian Complex. Mm-hmm. The only reason she'd relented on her promise to never return to Hidden Valley, the small town nestled in the Colorado mountains where she'd grown up, was because her cousin Abigail had begged her. Even then, she'd skipped the memorial service and was only here for the will reading she'd been told she had to attend. She got out of the car and adjusted her skirt. For a moment, she regretted her decision to wear a dress and heels, but what was done was done. Another outfit might have been more practical, but she wanted no trace of the old Josie here. It was bad enough having to face the memories. She was a new woman now, and she lived her life her way, wore the clothes she wanted to wear, and wasn't going to let this place change that, even for a moment. She'd no sooner started for the barn when a familiar voice greeted her. Junior. I mean Josie. And so right there, like that is this transformed woman showing up and
yes,
facing all of it. So
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that snippet with us as well. And so, Danica, when you think about, and someone had asked the question in the comments as well, they wanted to know, did you always know that you wanted to be a writer?
Yes and no. I was always the kid in school who would be writing little things in my notebooks. And at recess, I'd have a little hidey hole where I'd sit reading a book or writing a story in one of my notebooks with my friends. And so I always had that in me, but I never thought that I could be a writer as a job. Growing up, one of my friends' moms was a writer, and they were very, very, very poor.
Okay.
And I just thought, well, that's not really a sustainable way to make a living.
Right.
So I'm just going to grow up and have a grown-up job. And when I get older and I retire or whatever, then I'll write a book or something. So it's nice I didn't have to wait that long.
Yes. And I wanted to know, when you think about your writing career and when you're writing these amazing stories, does Danica have any writing quirks or writing must-haves when she's in her writing cave?
It's funny. I don't. And the reason is because I started writing when I had a baby.
Okay.
And so, I've done the sitting at the keyboard nursing a baby while trying to write, and having the TV in the background with toddlers throwing toys at each other, and then the phase of your kids being in every activity under the sun. And now my kids are older and off doing their own things. And so it's always been evolving for me. And so for me, the only thing that is really a constant is change and being able to go with that change. And so what is my process today, may not be my process tomorrow. The process that I used a year ago was I liked to drive and dictate my books. And so I'd go on these beautiful drives. Well, with gas prices, I'm not going on a drive. And so the book I'm writing right now, I have been going on hikes. And so I'll go on a hike and dictate my books. Well, guess what? It's now October. It's really cold. I can't go on a hike. And so I'm like, okay, how do I pivot? How do I change and do something different? So it's always about being flexible. So that for me is my must have is flexibility because I've just learned I've had to. I've got, I think somewhere if people scour my Instagram, they can see pictures of me years ago where I'm sitting on my laptop in my car while my kids are at practice. So it's always those things of where there's a will, there's a way. And I just always determined that I'm going to write. And so I will always find a way to make it work.
Wow. Wow. Danica, I want you to think about if you could have your own private tea party and you can invite individuals that have either mentored you or individuals that inspire you, and you can invite three of them to this private tea party. Who would they be and why?
Wow. Wow. Oh gosh. That's really a hard question. That's
Okay.
mean. That's mean to limit me to three also. I would just say on the
Look, and
record.
I'll allow you to throw in a bonus. So you can do four.
um, so do they have to be living?
No,
Okay, good. Because
your tea party.
okay, good, good. It's my tea party. So I would absolutely invite Madeline L'Engle,
Mhm.
who is my favorite author of all time. I love her books. They inspire me so much. So I would definitely invite her. And I would invite Victoria Holt because again, like I know that's one of her pen names. She's written under a million pen names, but she was one of the first romance writers I fell in love with.
Oh.
Um and then I would want to invite Barbara Cartland because again, famous romance writer.
Mhm.
And I just absolutely love her stuff. And I know, like, reading it from our perspective now, it's awful. Like, there's so much that's not PC and everything. But I mean, like, who wouldn't want to dictate their books to a gorgeous male secretary? Like, that's what she did. I want to know her secrets. So yeah, I totally those three. But also I've really been reading a lot of Maya Angelou right now.
Mhm.
And I know like she's not romancy and she's not a romance author. And I'm sure she probably would say like half the stuff I say is crazy. But I just really have been so touched by her writing, especially lately for some reason. Like a little thought will come to my mind. I'm like, where did that come from? And I'll look it up. I'm like, oh, it's Maya Angelou. Okay.
Nice, nice wrap up of your private tea party as well. Boys and girls, if you're hanging out with us, we are hanging out with Danica Favorite Guys, her latest release, A Journey to Forgiveness. And so, Danica, I want you to know we're going to play a round of this or that. But let me tell
Ooh,
you, there is no right or wrong answer because it's all things according to you. Are you ready, my friend?
I'm ready. I am ready.
All right, let's get started. Okay, first one, audio book or podcast?
Um, podcast. Well, I'm gonna say podcast, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Horseback riding or line dancing?
Oh, horseback riding.
Okay. Cowboy boots or cowboy hat?
Cowboy hats because I have yet to find a comfortable pair of cowboy boots. So
Okay.
I
Are you a morning person or night owl?
am a night owl for sure.
Okay. Now, Danica, we taking a trip. Are we going on a plane ride, my friend? Or are we oh Lord, I just forgot. Plane ride or are we road trip?
I'm gonna say plane ride. I
Oh,
love to write on planes. Actually, that's one of the things I would love to do if I could just have the money to be able to go on random flights to places
uh-huh.
and just sit on the airplane and do nothing but write. It's so weird. I'm super creative on airplanes.
Okay.
So I'd do it, man.
Look, we taking a trip, my friend. We going to the beach or we going to the mountains?
I live in the mountains, so I'm going to the beach.
All right. Glass half full or glass half empty?
Glass half full.
Okay. And last one, we have to know here at the cafe, Danica, Are you team tea, my friend, or are you team coffee?
Oh, team tea. Absolutely team tea.
I
I don't
love
mind
it.
coffee. I will drink coffee. I'm not one of those, but um, yeah, my tea collection might be considered a problem.
Oh, so team T for tonight. I love it. I love it. Danica, thank you so much for playing around of this or that for us. It's always nice to see the author's perspective on their this or that. But like I said, there's no right or wrong answer because it's all things according to you. Again, guys, if you're just joining us, hanging out with Danica Favor on today, guys, this is her latest release, A Journey to Forgiveness. And of course, you guys know that we have a giveaway. I will let Danica share with us what that giveaway on tonight is going to be.
I'm going to give away a copy of Journey to Forgiveness. So,
Yes.
yeah, if you would like to win a copy, please.
Danica, basically how we do it here is they have been commenting in the comment section. I'm going to go up and down the comment section, my friend, and you're going to tell me when to stop. And that person will be the winner of this amazing story,
Oh, okay.
Journey
Do
to
I need
Forgiveness.
to go somewhere to look at them or just?
No, it's yep, I see it on my screen, and so I'm getting ready to go up and down these comments, and you just tell me when to stop, and I will pop up who the person I land on.
Okay.
So look, so I got you covered. You just have to tell me when to stop.
Okay. Good.
Okay, I am ready when you are.
Okay. All right. Stop.
Okay, who is this person? Okay, author Sharon Blunt, you are the winner of Journey
Please.
to Forgiveness, my friend. If you will inbox me your mailing information, I will get that over to Danica Favorite, and we will get this sent out to you as well. Thank you so much for joining us and participating on today. Danica, can you share with the people how can they get their hands on a copy of Journey to Forgiveness, my friend?
So the easiest thing is you can get a copy at a lot of different stores. In fact, if you've got your local Walmart, you can pick it up there. That's always super simple. But go to harlequin.com and it shows all the different places where you can purchase it. So fortunately, wherever Harlequin books are sold, you're bound to find it. So
Nice.
use whatever your favorite bookstore is. I mean, personally, I said Walmart because it's more convenient, but if you happen to have a local bookstore that you love, definitely go to the local bookstore because I'm all about shopping local. So
I love that. I love that, guys. She has shared with us how we can get our hands on a copy of A Journey to Forgiveness as well. And before we end, I want you to share with us, Danica, what did you enjoy about writing Josie and Brady's story, Journey to Forgiveness, and starting a new series?
yeah, I mean, I always like starting a new series just because it's fun to get to explore something new. But what I really loved about this is just all, again, like I was saying earlier about the layers of forgiveness and realizing that I thought it was going to be just a real simple A to B path. But as the story progressed and things started unwinding and realizing the pieces of what was happening, there's one scene between Josie and Maddie that was really powerful. I ended up having to cut it in half because my editor's like, this is really good, but we need the romance, not the two women forgiving each other. And it was like, okay, I could do that. And but realizing, okay, like that's what forgiveness is. It's this deep path. And the funny thing about every book I write is I'm almost afraid sometimes of what the theme is going to be because I know that's something that God's going to work on in my own life. And so here I am writing about forgiveness, and all this forgiveness stuff, of course, comes up in my own life, and really powerful stuff. So for me, it's just as much of a self growth and self healing process as it is for my characters. So
Nice. Well, Danica, thank you so much for hanging out with us on today and sharing with us your latest release, A Journey to Forgiveness. We're so grateful that you stopped by the cafe on today. It has been amazing. And of course, the time goes by so fast. But before we go, can you tell us how they can stay connected with you, my friend?
So yeah, definitely go to my website, danicafavorite.com. You'll find all the great stuff about me there. I I'm on pretty much all social media channels. So whatever your favorite is, I'm Danica Favorite there as well. I tend to post most on Instagram, but like feel free to find me. Yeah, Tony, that is absolutely true. Thank you for pointing that. Yeah, that is God working through me and in me. And that's really just the best way to let God do it, right? So, yeah. So, any social media you can think of, I'm there. Like I said, I mostly do Instagram just because it's easier, but I really try on the other channels too. So,
And Danica, do you have a on your website? Is there a newsletter that they can sign up
yes.
for as well? Can you tell us about that? Mhm.
Yes. So sign up for my newsletter on my website at danicafavorite.com. I am behind in sending my newsletter, but I do try to send it fairly regularly. I had a massive computer crash this month. And for whatever reason, the email for my newsletter and my computer still don't talk to each other. So I'm right now like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? So the newsletter hasn't gone out. Anyone watching who is a subscriber, I'm really, really sorry. And someday these people will figure it out. But I'm a writer, not a tech person. So
Yes, yes. Well, thank you again so much for hanging out with us today, guys. And thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us here at Angela's Literary Cafe. Again, thank you so much for sending us stars. I always am so appreciative if you send stars. If you would like to send stars, if you are on Facebook, just look down in the comment section. There is a shooting star. Feel free to click that and just send how many ever stars that you want to send. I'm so appreciative to that. Thank you to all our viewers, whether you're watching us on YouTube or watching us here live on Facebook. We're so grateful for that. Guys, that is our show on today. But before we leave, I definitely want to leave Danica Favorite with the last words. What do you want to say to the people?
I just want to say thank you all for having me. It is such an honor to be here and be in front of all of you. And I really do hope you check out Journey to Forgiveness because it is really, like I said, a great book. And if you ever really want that peek into the Western lifestyle and just some of the fun things I've gotten to do and my kids do, like this is a very real picture of that. And obviously, if you want to read a book about forgiveness, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
I love that. I love that. Well, again, Danica Favorite, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Guys, that is our show on today. We've had an amazing time hanging out with author Danica Favorite. Guys, go out and get her latest release, A Journey to Forgiveness, as she's shared. It's available where books are sold. You can go to the Harlequin website. You can go to Amazon, Walmart, any of your bookstores, wherever that books are sold, boys and girls, and get your hands on a copy of Journey to Forgiveness. Of course, once you read it, boys and girls, definitely leave a review. I know that Danica will be so appreciative of that as well. And not only that, go out and tell a friend to get them a copy and to read it and write a review as well. Guys, that's our show. As I always say, have an amazing day because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, boys and girls, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.